So we're here outside Gladys's house,
Yeah.
who was one of our great success stories with the project.
Yeah, you've done very well. I didn't recognise her. She's a completely different character.
Definitely. When we met Gladys, when we started this project last year, we had a look, and the year previously she'd attended A&E 7 times in 6 months. Probably because there's no other option for the ambulance crews. There's nowhere else to take her. She didn't like that experience, and as time's gone on since we started the project over the 12 months, I think initially she had a couple of A&E attendances, and as the scheme got going more and more, and more of the paramedics were aware of it, they would make the referrals to us, and since January this year, she's never attended A&E.
Yeah, I've not seen this lady for a few months now. The last time was towards the beginning of the year. The downside is if there's not an acute deterioration in a long-term condition like Gladys has got, it's managing her rather than actively trying to intervene. So our options really were only to either tell her that she was physically well and that this was part of the condition, or take her down to hospital. But then by getting her into the hospital environment, her anxiety would kick in. It wasn't an environment she wanted to be in. She'd get the medicines that she needed that could have easily come from the GP services, and then she'd be discharged, but that wouldn't have been anytime soon. She'd have been waiting for transport, and so she'd have been essentially tying up a hospital place for hours and hours, when in her own home she could have received better, and we could have removed the anxiety element. The immediate pressure on the ambulance service was massive, because these people didn't need A&E, we just didn't have an option B. So we'd be tied up on scene, we'd be tied up travelling to the A&Es, we'd be tied up handing over at the A&Es because they were so busy, and then we'd be moving on to the next one and the next one, and we were just stacking conditions that could be managed at home easily and safely.
So do you find it better then, being able to ring us?
Absolutely, yeah. It's an awful lot better for us, because in the absence of getting GPs and stuff involved, we would have, you have your criteria for what you would accept from us, but we also use you just for running situations past, because even if you can't help, you can put us in touch with services that can.
I've suffered from panic attacks, and also getting myself probably worked up. I don't like going to A&E. It's a long wait. They take the bloods, and it's frightening. And then you don't talk to people like you talk to the nurses. You can talk to nurses, but they're not, when you go to A&E, they're that busy. You haven't got you just sit in a bed, probably twiddling your thumbs, and you've got all your medication with you, because I've got to take all my medication with me anyway, with me being diabetic. So you've not got nobody to talk to, so you're on your own all the time. I do sometimes do tend to panic, and then when I do panic, I get these shaky what have you, and so I just rang, and she said, she come up and she said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, I've got up this morning, I can't breathe, can somebody come out and come and see?" And they did, and she spoke to me for about half an hour, and I calmed myself down, and I felt really, I calmed myself down a lot. It's not easy to come from what I was like last year to this year. I've probably put a lot of How can I say? It's hard to explain. I think for myself, try to do it myself. I do get myself worked up, but I don't ring for the ambulance. I just ring for the nurses. With this service, you're not on your own. You've just got just a phone call away.
You get to come out, and then like today when you see Gladys.
I know, it's remarkable, isn't it?
You see her a year down the line.
I know.
And she's walked down to the doctors and got herself on a bus on her own.
Yeah.
And if you think about how we all work together to get Gladys to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. From a 999 phone call to going getting her own flu jab down at the GP's is absolutely massive.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Makes me feel proud.
I think there's a massive expectation that an ambulance turns up to an address and they're already in the doorway with the bags because, you know, days gone by.
But that's what would have happened.
That was what was happening because we didn't have any other options. So now they'll be stood there and we'll encourage them to go back in, have a sit down, and then we'll try and figure out. And they're quite surprised that we can get nursing staff, senior nursing staff to the house. Because certain generations, they're sort of like, well, it's a GP or it's hospital, and there's nothing in between. So they're amazed that they can get to speak to a dietitian or that they can get to speak to a physiotherapist. They don't realise that it's out there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at the moment, until the education kicks in, they will still be phoning 999, but that's where we come in, because then we can divert to
and that's why we're doing
people.
this, to show people there's another option out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a good option, and that it works.
Yeah, it's really hard. There's so many Gladyses in this area and all across the country, and each of them has their own care plan or would need their own care plan that was specific to them.